GM, or good afternoon, everyone. I'm back, and thank you for joining me. If you don't know me, I'm Sharina, the creative producer of My Neighbor Alice, and you made the last episode I hosted so much fun, I decided to come back and host not only once, but multiple times this month. Multiple times. So make sure you tune in at this time for the next 3 Wednesdays if you can't get enough of me or my white teeth, as somebody pointed out last week or last month. So today is extra special because I have 2 of my favorite people here with me today. I work very closely with them every day, so I'm so excited to take you on a deep dive with me into their creative minds and their inspirations while we work on My Neighbor Alice. So my first guest is one of the most interesting and unique people I've ever met. I always learn something new from her when I'm talking to her. And today, she's bringing her narrative expertise to the mic with a mysterious twist. M&A's narrative lead, Lorraine. Hello.
Hello. Happy to be
Welcome.
back and super happy to be interviewed be part of that with you, Sharina.
Interview. I'm going to grill you. I'm so happy to have you here and so happy that you could join me for my second open mic. The next guest has been a much anticipated one for a while, and I'm so happy to have him on Alice and Chill for the first time today with us. He is an integral part of the project, and his vision and creative eye flood the archipelago from corner to corner. M&A's art director, Remy.
Hey guys. Hey,
Hey,
I'm happy to
Remy.
be here. Feels like it's my first time on the internet or something.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
Hey guys.
Awesome. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you both here. This is so special. So why don't we first take a few seconds and you can each go through a brief intro of your role and what you do on M&A for people who are joining us for the first time today. Lauren, maybe you can start.
Yes, I guess I can start. So I'm lead narrative designer. I work with, narrative, and what does it consist of? It's about giving the narrative direction of the game. It can be about creating characters, creating quests, defining how is the story spreading over all the different aspects of the game. So that's what I do on a daily basis. And working very closely with Remy, indeed. So that's also why I'm super happy that we can finally have him here and we can discuss that because that's super interesting discussions that we always have, together.
Yeah, we're very lucky to. I think working on a game is amazing. I'm Remy or Myri on the internet. I'm art director on M&A. We share with Lorraine the creative vision of the game, so that means anything that is tied to lore or to visuals, like the stuff you like wearing, the stuff you like placing on plots, the regions, all that visual stuff that is for you to love and care about. That's what we do as a job. So yeah, I'm working with Sharina with a team of around 12 artists spread all around the world. We have people in Shanghai, in Mexico, in Brazil. So yeah, it's a lot of time zones to manage. But yeah, that's what we do on a daily basis.
Thank you. We do indeed, don't we? It's a lot of managing, it's a lot of coordination, it's a lot of communication, it's all the good stuff.
Yeah, good things take time, as they say.
Exactly. You know, did you watch the last live stream? Because I'm pretty sure I said that.
No,
Are
I'm
you
such a fan.
quoting
I'm
me?
such a fan.
My number one fan. That's why I
Exactly.
invited you here. All right. Thank you both. This is such a special episode, of course. Not only because you guys are awesome, but narrative and art, I feel like, can definitely exist separately. But when they come together, in a beautiful and harmonious way, like they do inside of M&A. The possibilities of what we can create are truly endless. So we're going to jump right in right away. So, as you might know, we released a brand new region in September last year within Nature's Rest called Gloomy Gulch. And it really is unlike any other region we have. It's dark, it's mysterious, and it's really a true testament to everyday life. Because I don't know if you guys agree, but not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows. And sometimes you do need to sit in the darkness to understand what it truly means to have a place for you to run to. We have a place for you to run to be still for a moment if you need it. Gloomy Gulch is here. So I want Lorraine to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind this region and how you brought Gloomy Gulch to life. And then maybe we can dive a little deeper and connect some of the art pieces to the region and some of the lore as well.
Sure. So maybe before we start, I think it would be good to talk a little bit about how we define Gloomy Gulch with like, what is the story around it, or how do we describe it? So Gloomy Gulch, we describe it as a mysterious or hauntingly beautiful region where we have lush forest that covers the land. And well, we have a lot of illusion around the region. Like, a lot of the theme is based around this idea of illusion. So when we well, something also to know about, like, now moving on to more the process or how we decided to go with this, is that when we create a region in Alice, we don't start with like mechanics. This is much more like, okay, what's the feeling we want to get out of something? And well, sometimes it's joy, but other times it can be, as you just said, Sharina, maybe more something that you want to feel still, something that you want to experience, something darker. So we started Gloomy Gulch with the glowing lights and this question of how do we find, well, beauty in sadness or even grief at times. And so I think it's, since we needed to connect it to Nature's Rest as a whole, which is the main island on which Gloomy Gulch is. I was looking into different kind of forests, and some were more eerie until now. And well, when thinking of Gloomy Gulch, I think that I wanted something like, we wanted something a bit more mysterious, like this. I think I just had watched Dark, the TV show, and I was having in mind like all these German forests that were, I don't know, it gave me the impression of like being stuck in time, but at the same time it felt rather safe, and we wanted that mysterious feeling. So um, yeah, so I think that like it started with this, I would say.
Nice.
Mm.
That's so
Yeah, definitely.
interesting. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Ryan.
it's really nice. I'm just reading the chat. Blood Moon saying it's his favorite. I really like Gloomy Gulch because so when I started on the project had already been worked on for some while for a little while, and so my job is to carry on an existing art direction that's already been set by previous people before me, but also trying to shape it into something new. Like a project is always evolving and changing, you know. Um, so here the goal was to give a bit of an edge to a region, like something more nostalgic. Soju says it feels kind of dreamy. I agree. There's also something with the vibe of the music that feels, I don't know, something a bit more adult in the feelings we want you to feel while exploring and living in that region. So yeah, it was really interesting to explore that as well visually.
Yeah, definitely. It's so interesting, Lorraine, when you were saying the thing about like how the forest that you pulled from, like the German forest, is something that can make you feel like safe, even though it's mysterious. And I really feel like we do encapsulate that feeling with our Gloomy Gulch. Like it is a very mysterious place, and it's so different from everything else that we have in the archipelago right now. But for some reason, when you go there, you still feel like it's home. You still feel like it's safe. You can still relate to it. I feel like it has the ability to like reach many people on many different levels and have different meanings for everybody. So I think that, yeah, it's such a beautiful place. And because it's different, it has that little extra spark or a little extra something about it. So let's just dive into some of the artwork because I mean, the art director is here. We have Lorraine here with the lore behind everything. Like, let's just dive in. So, the first thing that we're going to be looking at here is some concept art that we created. So, maybe Remy can go ahead and chat about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to show this kind of artwork that we're not showing anywhere else at the moment. So you get an exclusive sneak peek. I can just give also a brief overview of how it works more technically if you have some of the art enthusiasts out there. So we come with the need of opening a new region, and so we work with Lorraine on figuring out how it looks, how do we want people to feel about it, that kind of stuff. And so after that, we have really talented concept artists, they're called. So their goal is coming up with things from text and making them into images, basically. And so here, this is the final concept sheet for Gloomy Gulch. As you've seen in game, we have two types of trees. You have the major ones and the minor ones, and same for rocks. The major trees being more like landmarks of things you will see in game, like wow, I have this big tree on my plot on my land, it looks amazing. And we went for a weeping willow to kind of always yeah, personally because I love them, but also they give this kind of, I don't know, illusion vibe of like maybe you're under a shower or something. Do you have thoughts on these concepts, Lorraine?
I mean, just also to follow up on the weeping willow. So weeping, I guess, like if I remember, like in English, it's crying, right? Or like it's
Yeah.
the same term in French.
Yeah.
So I feel that when we talk about Gloomy Gulch, which we just said, it's about like experiencing sadness or sorrow. This kind of like things also matter, I think, in the subconscious of people. And when it comes to like, yeah, how art managed to pull these plants to represent that, because I mean, it's a thing to talk about, oh, we want the region like this, we feel it should be like this, but like someone has to put a visual on this feeling and to manage to represent it. And I really feel that like with all of the like I really love the major tree, like the weeping willow, and in the little tree, all these like little lights that we talked extensively about. Actually, how gloomy do we want Gloomy Gulch? It was one of the topics. So I feel that it's yeah, and even with the little flowers. So yeah.
Mm-mm.
There's one thing about okay, this is like a silly story from when I was a kid, but I don't know if this is like a internationally known like myth, but when I was little, I don't know why my dad would tell me this, but he'd say like don't walk under weeping willow trees at night because there are spirits that live in the trees. And if you walk under it at night, they'll like not attack you, but they'll like you'll be able to see them and it's like scary. But I
What?
always so I know. Have you ever heard of that?
No, no, no,
Yeah,
never.
I don't know why maybe it's like a myth or something from Fiji because apparently like on the island in Fiji where my parents grew up there are a lot of ghost stories and maybe that's another episode of Alice and Chill later on this month. But
So cool. Maybe we
it
should
never
make little sparks spawn under the weeping willow now. That's really cool.
ooh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean it never freaks me out though because I always thought it was fascinating and like I thought maybe I'd see my grandma. So I love that that's there because I think that for me it represents something from my childhood and something that's familiar. And I feel like yeah, like you said, I feel like people can relate to like the messaging behind everything in their own way. So
Mm-mm.
this is really beautiful. Cool. Okay, well, do we possibly want to go in game and explore this region a little bit? Are we ready to do that together? Nice. Let's check it out. I think it's super cool to see the concept sheets because, like you said, Remy, we don't share these things anywhere else. And I think for people who don't really know how like an art department really works, this is basically yeah like the starting point. Like you go from rough sketches into like a very polished version of the concept before we put it into production. So it's a cool contrast that we get to have this on the live with you, because now we get to go view it in game and have the direct contrast between what the 2D concepts look like and what the 3D models look like in game.
Yeah. And so just like Sharina said, when we have a concept sheet like that, so this one was made by Michi, a Vancouver-based design concept art studio. They're really talented. I recommend checking them out. And then when we have those concepts, then they're passed on to one of our 3D artists, and their job is to make it happen, make it exist, because this is only a drawing. So now you have to shape it into software, and then import it into the game. And it comes with a lot of small technical things that people might not see, but like they move in the wind. There's some things that glow. They need to be set at certain spaces. They take a certain size. There's a lot of technical things that come with it as well. And Lauren is going to show us that in a little bit.
Nice. Thank you, Remy. Okay, so let's transition this over. Here we go.
Let me
So
just.
excited.
Okay, this is me. Hey, Tassol. So let me get on the map. Nature's Rest.
You have a cool outfit, Tassel. I love it.
Always styling, always styling. Look at that beautiful loading screen. Love it.
Yeah, we're matching.
Everyone.
We are.
We got
Matchy, matchy. Everyone would be so happy.
All right, here we are. Cool. So this is the town hub of Gloomy Gulch. So let's see. Can move a little bit. Now that we were talking about the plants, I think we can approach a little bit like the flower with the wind movement, as you were saying, Remy.
Yeah, and we shaped the flowers to look like butterflies as well, always in that kind of optical illusion design. Maybe at some point we'll have actual butterflies flying off, and you thought they were flowers, but they were just butterflies.
Yeah, so you see, this is
Ooh.
exactly one kind of like when we were talking about the illusion aspect of things, that's one of the idea that came. That is, okay, if it's an illusion, is it a butterfly? Is it a flower? Are we going like, I mean, maybe it's flying around you. So we played a lot about like on this aspect of illusion, and I think that's why it's like a super interesting region for that, or like at least really fun to work with.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yeah. Optical illusions in general are super cool. So, yeah, the fact that we really explored that heavily from the beginning was awesome, and also integrated a lot of it in. Butterflies are also really beautiful to have in here, because I feel like their journey from a caterpillar to butterfly is really insane. And yeah, they're just beautiful little creatures, and I really feel like they're underrated, you guys. I don't know
Yeah,
about you.
that weird stage where they go into their, I don't know, it's chrysalide in French, but that cocoon, and they just turn
Hmm.
into literal goo to then
Hmm.
turn into a butterfly. It's crazy.
Exactly. Okay, so one thing that I do want to talk about, which is something that we're going to share next, is the landmark. So maybe, Lorraine, if you make your way over to that landmark,
Yeah, you can see
um,
it here.
let's take a look at it. So let's take a look at the concept sheet here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Remy, if you want to
So
talk about that.
yeah, definitely. On the left is what we call a brief. So this is how we convey information to a concept artist. This is what I'd like the landmark to look like, to feel like. So I take various references. You can see the foliage from Gloomy Gulch up top, and those really big greenhouses with butterflies. I think a lot of it, as an artist, you take inspiration from your own life. So growing up as well, I had a big weeping willow in my backyard. And so I used to pull on the branch, always wanting to be like Tarzan. And 20 minutes away from my house, there was this big greenhouse. It was called the Butterfly Greenhouse, in some random village in France. And you could enter a big greenhouse, and there were like butterflies flying everywhere. And that was just such a magical feeling.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You little
Yeah.
Tarzan, you. So cute. I
Something
love
that
that.
I will add to the landmark, at least story, because I mean, well, that was super interesting to like hear how you like. I mean, what the inspiration you got for that, Remy. And I will add to generally the inspiration also that came from Gloomy Gulch is that, well, we talk now about the more nature aspect of it, but when it comes to like also objects, I liked to look into the, like, as an inspiration of Art Nouveau. So just very quickly, the difference between Art Nouveau and Art Deco, because they're often mistaken. Well, the Art Nouveau is before the Art Deco. And it's all about, like, it's this end of 19th century until beginning of 20th century where you have a lot of like nature introduction into a very industrial world. So you have all these curves, all this like more asymmetrical part, the long lines. And that's something that like I can see like we took a lot into the concept. And yeah, I mean, it's something that is like really cool also to when we talk about like finding reference into the real world, it's also added to that. So I'm trying to make my way up to the top.
Hmm.
It's actually very
Nice.
like speak,
So
make sense, and enjoy.
Um, yeah, one thing that I'll say, Gloomy Gulch is one of my the landmark. It's one of my favorite pieces in the game. I've been talking about meaning a lot. Like I reflect a lot. I like to find hidden meanings and things, and so I think that any way that you interpret this landmark, it's never a wrong way because your interpretation is your interpretation and it's a beautiful thing. If it speaks to you, that's what matters. And I do feel like this piece does speak to many people. Like we have it, we did a lot of exploration with the shape and it representing, the butterfly, which is all throughout the region. There it is. Look at that. It's so beautiful. How the tree wraps around the tower. So this is really cool because now everybody can see how it translates from the concept sheet over to in game, which is really
mm,
nice.
can you put the concept full screen, Sharina,
Yeah, of course.
please?
No problem. Here we go.
Yeah, so what Sharina was telling you about the butterfly is what we tried to build in the shape of the tree so that the shape looks like a butterfly. This concept was made by our in-house concept artist, Luve. So yeah, it's super pretty. There's always trying to find little details like maybe a panel fell down and this is the entrance to a greenhouse that was closed before. And so now you can come inside and there's like a little spot you can sit at and just enjoy.
Hmm. Yes,
Like I'm doing
enjoy.
right.
You still. Yeah, okay, we got to put the spotlight back on uh
Oh, it's really like
Lorraine's
nice
view.
image now with like all the concept. I mean, I really, really love this concept. I think that like Louve did an amazing job on that one. So I'm just love watching,
Yeah.
contemplate it.
This is that are these both concepts or is the one on the right 3D? I can't
They're
tell
both
right now.
concepts, but Luve uses 3D as a base
Okay, right.
when
Right.
he's concepting, and then he paints over. So he gives this really impressive look to his concepts. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that one, I mean, it looks insane. It looks like a scene from a movie. Like it's ready to go. Where's our $1 million budget? Give it to us so we can make a movie. This is great. I love it. Yeah, he's very talented. Okay, let's put this back and take a look. Is there anything else either of you'd like to say about this? I mean, I know that there is lore behind some of the buildings that we have in game. I don't know if Lorraine, you want to explore that side of the story about
I
this?
mean, I think on this specific one, actually, it's probably the one where we left the most question and like opened because I remember we talked about this actually, Sharina, because not only you're a talented producer, you're also a very talented writer.
Thanks.
You have a lot of
Thank
ideas.
you.
So I remember us talking about this one, and we had all these questions about the butterflies. Do we leave the house open? Do we enclose them? What exactly happened to them? And in this specific case, we actually decided to let it just be. and not necessarily find a specific answer to this one. Um, we also want players to decide what they want for themselves with this story. So we just create, like, I mean, here is just, how to say, up for them to invent their own theories around it. So yeah, on this one specifically, I would say it's the least story, but we still went with like this specific feeling that I described at the beginning. So yeah.
I mean, I think that it fits quite well as well because, yeah, Gloomy Gulch is full of mystery. So we got to leave a little bit to the imagination, right?
Yeah. Who built that greenhouse, I wonder.
Ooh. Okay, what is this we're looking at right now?
So this is the 3D model. So after the concept is done, it's our 3D artists that work out the model in various software. This one was done in Blender, which is an open source software. So if you want to get into 3D, I would really recommend using Blender. Um, we're doing model, so we're shaping in 3D in the space, the shape of the tree, wrapping around the tower. And there's always an interpretation, right? It's never like a one-to-one from the concept to the 3D model. That's just not possible. So there's another layer of interpretation from that 3D artist that's going to put his soul into that artwork now. So this one was made by Bora, a really talented 3D artist.
Amazing. That's really cool. Yeah, I feel like this is cool. Like the community gets to see the transition between the concept art and then into the 3D model before it goes in game. So yeah, these are the things that we look for on a daily basis, just to make things awesome for everybody that's in game. Great. Well, thank you both for doing a deep dive into Gloomy Gulch. That was wonderful. Um, so let's go back to. I'm trying to sort this. Okay, great. Okay, so maybe the next thing that we can do is yeah, like showcasing a few other items that we have in game. Um, we can go through a couple of those and take a look at some concept sheets. So yeah, it's we have the ability here at M&A to create some really amazing, unique art pieces, some placeable items, some wearable items, and also, of course, tie in some beautiful lore and intriguing stories with each piece. So everybody prepare your eyes because you're about to see some beautiful concept work again. So this first one, Remy, take it away.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we put I mean, I see some of the OG people playing the game, our core community. So hey everyone, I'm really grateful that you guys are here watching this. You guys make this game as much as we do, so I'm really happy to have you guys here. Um, so as you know, we added those kind of specialization crafting stations 1 or 2 seasons ago. And this one is the loom. And so the idea with all of these was to give a different design, different vibe to them. So you can kind of visually see how a material would transition from being a leaf to being a fiber, which is a thing that is done in nature as well. This concept was done by Jin Wildus, really talented concept artist. And we're always trying to. Blood Moon says he wants a land there. Yeah, sure. I'll give it for you for free. No, I don't have that power. I wish I had one. But maybe we can share. Let's become neighbors together. Um, yeah, so that loom crafting station, we're always trying to add intricate details of how they work in a fantasy level. We're a very fantasy inspired game, all about nature and how it like woves itself with reality. Lorraine, do you have thoughts on how we imagined this crafting station?
I mean, for crafting station in general, there was, well, in the case of like how narrative can bring to this, it was this question of like what like what kind of energy goes into that? What is the technology? It was more about solving this kind of questions. And here, as you can see, the little butterflies, well, butterflies again, that we kept as being, well, some form of spirits. They took an integral part into this concept art, and I feel that this has been really well like translated in that aspect. And I mean, you mentioned all the how the leaf is, well, made into this fiber, and I mean that's really ties into the core, one of the core pillar of like harmony with nature. So these are the kind of things that I can see is like how art reflects this aspect that we define from rules of the world. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Is it possible for us to see this on your plot? Let's take a look. See. I love
Sorry.
these little crafting stations. No worries. They were super fun to come up with at the time when we were working on them, and to see all of them go from their beautiful concept sheets into models. It was just super cool, and this is one of the coolest ones, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
look at
sure.
it.
Like you can see it here, and I think something, I don't know if you can hear the sound from my stream, but the sound that comes with it, I find it extremely satisfying and very like, I don't know, enticing. Like there's something about it that feels extremely connected to all the little spirits like that you can see are moving, weaving around the fabric. Yes.
That is, yeah, good. I'm glad that you brought that up, because we are going to have a special guest in a few weeks from now that can really dive in deep about the sound and audio that we have in M&A. Hint, hint. But yeah, everything does have. I mean, it's beautiful. So the functionality of it as well is really cool. It's very much like something that you would see um, possibly in real life somewhere. So yeah, I love it. And also, your plot is beautiful, by the way. You do such a great job with decorating it and placing everything. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, girl, please come and do some interior decorating in my apartment because I need some help.
Thank
You
you.
do
But
a
I'm also
good
sure that
job.
like there are some community plots out there that are so well decorated. I'm not at that level yet, but thank you.
It's great. It's great. I love it. Okay, cool. Is there another concept sheet that we potentially want to take a look at, that we could compare to something in game? Let's see what we have. Some juicy things. And maybe, yeah, we can potentially talk about like some of the functionality behind these crafting stations, because I think that's also really cool. So go
Yeah.
ahead, Remy.
So um, I don't know if you guys noticed, because it's we try to make it subtle, but there's always a second layer to things we build in the game. Meaning, there's always a way for smaller creatures that we call spirits to use objects we create. So maybe some of them have a smaller garden that a spirit would garden in. But here, for example, there's a tiny little swing hanging from the light. It's small to see on your live stream, especially if you're on your phone. But you can maybe try and spot it in game when you go next time. Lorraine, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Whoa. What do you mean?
Let's talk spirits. There
Why
are
are we
little
doing?
spirits that hang off of some of our items in game, and they
Yes, I
like
mean,
to pop up.
I think that like yeah, the spirits being a big part of the world of Alice. This is also reflected into all like a lot of objects. I think that Tassel noticed that in the last live stream, and so now we're actually bringing the answer to that. And as you can see, I mean, now I was actually trying to like frame my crafting station when you asked me the question. That's why I felt a bit taken aback in game. But yeah, we can actually see the little swing from the light and also the little door down. Well, actually, the door down is more oven than a spirit door. We don't want the spirit to burn. But yeah, you can see it in here. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. The little details. It's all about the little details. And like we tried to have those really cute little details that might go unnoticed on some of our items, but if you're looking really closely, you can find them. So yeah, I love that. I love that we're able to showcase that and explain a little bit. There is a lot of lore and there is a lot of hidden meaning inside of M&A that we have yet to share, I think. And so doing things like this is always really great because we get to highlight different parts of the items that we have in game for the community and also for people that haven't played our game yet, to go in and check it out if you're curious. See what speaks to you and what you can find that other people may not have found yet. So that's really, really nice. Okay, well, I think that we have maybe 10-ish minutes left. So, yeah, we've got a couple exciting things coming up. I think we're gonna do one more crafting station. You want to do one
Yeah,
more crafting station room?
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
cool. Let's take a look at this one. This one is one of my favorites. Yeah, the concept, I don't know, the artwork for this is just beautiful. I love it. There's so much going on with it, like the pattern. Anyway, you describe art director better than I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the inspiration for this one is like, how do you make a crafting station that reflects the idea of crafting interior things? So, um, chairs, tables, things you would want to place inside of something and not outside. So I think the major inspiration here was an architect drawing table. So back in the day, when architects weren't on computers, you would have, I think you can look it up on Google. It's really impressive. These enormous rooms, and they had these huge tables where and the longest rulers, like everything was big for some reason, and they were doing their maps. Me, I'm Gen Z, it makes no sense to me, but with their hand, with like pen and paper, which is crazy to me. And so this is the feeling we wanted to convey. What if the player, you were an interior designer? What would you use to make things that you would want to place inside? Maybe you would want to plan it first and design it. And maybe your eyesight is not that good, so you have those big magnifying glasses at the top.
It's so funny. I feel targeted that when I was in school, my hand would fall off because I had to do everything with pen and pencil on paper without computers.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it in game. Yeah, it looks
Here it is.
beautiful.
Yeah, you can see all the details here.
Mhm. Is there anything you want to add to this one, Lorraine?
No, I mean, I think that like it was also like I don't know. I'm just like listening to also the explanation of of Remy on this one, because like I said, it's like for narrative is more okay. We need to think about the rules, like the rules of the world when thinking this, but then all the freedom and creativity goes to the artists and like their best way to reflect that and convey the utility that is in the first place. Because we also shouldn't forget that this is an interior crafting table. So you should know, yes, it's about crafting interior items and here it's perfectly reflected. So yeah,
Lorraine,
Mhm.
can you craft something just to show the crafting animation?
uh, do I have something?
Maybe they're
No,
expensive.
because that's the thing is that can I actually craft something?
Yeah, spend your board, girl.
Spend all my money on this for this.
Live
Actually, I
demo,
can.
live demo.
Yeah, you want that orange tree.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I actually want them. I craft like already 5 of them. I want to make an alley of that. So yeah, here using the bricks, so from the refinement station uh, for sediment and some from the cork tree, and we'll spend 1 hour crafting that. Yes,
Amazing.
Let's
I
wait
love
for the
that little orange
blockchain to
tree.
confirm.
yes,
Indeed.
it's
This little orange tree is so cute, so refreshing. It's like you can squeeze fresh orange juice in the morning
mm.
from this little bush.
My internet is a bit slow on that side. Like I can also see that the streaming and here and the game is a little bit. much for my computer. So
Yeah, no worries.
No
if you're not
problem.
working,
That's okay. We tried, we tried. Um, okay, so let's move maybe into the next thing that we've got here. Let me just transition this back over. 1 second. So we have some exciting alphas. I think this first one you can call it an alpha. Um, but yes, we're excited to share it with you. And it's because of you, our community. You spoke, we listened, and we took action. So we are going to show you exactly what we're talking about here. If I can get my computer to work properly. Here we go. Take it away, Remy.
Yeah, I think it's important for you guys to remember that we're building this game together. My vision when I tend to do a lot of projects, very varied, and the when I make a project, it's always to speak to an audience, to talk to someone, so someone can enjoy what I do and make it their own, you know? And so this is the same spirit that we're bringing here. Um, we're paying attention, we're listening, very open to suggestions. So when I saw the really nice reception that you guys did, even if there's some clipping issues that will be fixed, it is normal. It's part of making a game. Um, we decided to make new versions for some racing equipables. So I did some concepts, and our pretty talented 3D artist Alina from Mexico did the models. So yeah, we have those 4 new outfits, helmets coming to you very soon, so you can express yourself in game. I hope you like them. I see that uh, everyone I know, Tassel, Kuma, Blood Moon, are
you
really
already
excited
picked a
about it.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so great. The colors are so beautiful, and I think that they blend really well together. So yeah, thank you everybody in the community who suggested what they wanted. It really adds a little bit more flavor to the collection that we already put out. So yeah, like Remy said, coming to you soon. Lauren, did you want to add anything
To
to
this
this?
specific items, I mean, just the fact that like we did the racing collection in the first place was great because it was also about listening to how players were playing the game, and we saw so many like challenges. So we're just keep bringing to this idea of like you guys are also making the game in that aspect, just like
Mm-hmm.
Remy said.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. So please continue to use Discord. We have a suggestion channel as well as an art channel. I'm not saying we will make everything you guys desire, but I think, yeah, just continue to let's continue to build this together. And I hope you guys enjoyed those new racing outfits.
Yes, we're excited to see them being used in game once they get released.
Can we show
Um,
the crafting station animation now that Lorraine has it working?
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, let me do that. Perfect. Let's see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can see
Ooh,
the magnifying glass doing
nice.
its job. And so
it's
my orange tree.
since you can't really sit down and interact physically with your player avatar with the crafting station, we need to find a way to how do you show that it is working basically, and this comes through an animation state. So boom, suddenly it's moving, and like Tassel said, he said it reminds him of his soldering iron post, and it's exactly that. It's like, what would you do when you're working on something? You move things around, and what if they're moving by themselves, making them even more magical? And so you can see that it's crafting something for you right now.
Hmm. It's so cool. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thanks for explaining it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
All right. I'm so excited. Is anybody getting a little chilly in here? Because we're
yeah,
about
it's
to
a bit
drop
cold.
another alpha. Yeah, you think? Huh?
Yeah. We have a last teaser for you guys to thank you for sticking with us and get your brain
Yes.
started on what's coming. to the word of Lumelunda. So we're just gonna leave you with a last image, and then up to you to kind of figure it out. But we've been working really hard, all of us, all people working on M&A, um, like every day, every work day. We're not working weekends. But yeah, so let's
Not
see what's
yet.
coming soon. Lauren, do you have anything
Yeah,
to add?
I go ahead, Lorraine, and then I'll just say one thing before we show this alpha to everyone.
I mean, just on that, it's also, yeah, it's very exciting actually, this one. So I'm super curious to see the reaction of the community on that. So I'll just leave it there.
Um, yes, so let's do it. Boom. It's icy. It's juicy. Let's get Remy to explain what we're looking at.
I'm not explaining anything. It's up to you to figure it out. This really cool concept was made by Luve. Um, but yeah, we have really amazing work coming to the world of M&A. The art
Hmm.
team is making beautiful and beautiful, like more beautiful stuff every time, every day. So the
Hmm.
quality is getting better and better, and the amount of content as well. So I'm excited for
Definitely.
you guys to kind of figure it out, and then yeah, we'll maybe have more stuff to show soon.
Definitely. I'm not sure if you have seen, but we just released our 2025 roadmap as well. That's outlining a couple of the really amazing things that are going to be coming up later on this year. So if you look at this, take a look at that, maybe connect the dots. That's all we're going to say. That's all you get today. And thank you very much, both of you. This was super awesome. It was so special for me. Um, and I hope also special for you to be here with me as well and with everybody that's joined us today. Thank you. We're so excited for this big release that's coming up soon since we have so many new amazing things to look forward to. Again, thank you both, Remy and Lorraine, for making this such a special, creative, and inspiring episode of Allison Show Open Mic. I will always keep the mic hot for any last thoughts. So drop them now if there's any last thoughts that either of you would like to say.
Yes, just to conclude on the whole Gloomy Gulch thing, because we don't have the opportunity to talk a lot about like regions and what they mean. But I mean, here it was amazing to talk about this. And I hope that like players see that we're not like dictating anything with storytelling. We're not trying to control the meaning. We just try to bring some layers of meaning for players to want to catch them when they want, because we want to give places in Alice that where people feel like they belong. And maybe there are different kind of places in which you feel good. Some places it can be like, well, sunny and nice, and in the case of like Gloomy Gulch, it's more like something that like you just feel, well, a little bit more toned down, and that's okay. Because that's also what it is about to be in Alice, is this more mature town that we wanted to bring. So yeah, I mean, it was super interesting to talk about that, and also to bring art to the stage, because again, I really enjoyed our discussions. So that's cool. I'm happy that you guys could enjoy that too on live stream, and of course, Sharina, thank you for hosting this wonderfully.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Remy, did you want to say any last things?
Yeah, thanks
Last
for
thoughts?
being such a nice host. I came
Oh.
out of my basement like an art shrimp just for this. So now I'll return back to darkness. But no, it was really nice to chat with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's really nice to see so many familiar names in the chat. Thank you guys for enjoying our game, enjoying what we're building. It's really meaningful when someone just resonates with your art. So yeah, thank you so much for playing, guys. And of course, there's so many more things to come. So I'm so excited for you guys to experience that as well. So yeah,
Definitely. Thank you both. Definitely would obviously love to have both of you back at some point in the future. So we will make it happen. But yeah, thank you everyone who joined us today. Please make sure to leave comments if you have any suggestions for other topics that you'd like us to discuss, other guests that you'd like to see open mic in the future. I love yapping. So at least you know you'll get consistent yapping if you come back. So come back and join me. Thank you again so much, and we will see you here the same day and same time next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.